Well, good morning, friend. Friday morning, June the 11th, and we are ending our second week in the month of June, and summer is in full blast here, Oklahoma City. We're in the 90s again. Finally, we had a pretty much of a cold spell that we went through, and but we're doing good now. Back in the, if you like the warmer weather, that's where we are, and I'm excited about that. Excited for the weekend, what God's going to do. Contacted some of my converts I led to Christ earlier this week. They're looking forward to being in church on Sunday. That's always an exciting thing to have your converts ready, texting you back and saying, hey, can't wait for church on Sunday. That's an exciting thing. Now, let me talk just a little bit before I get into the devotional. Some have been asking me, I've been getting emails about my website. It's been down for a couple of weeks. They're rebuilding it. And the guy who's doing it, hoping to have it done here this weekend. I can't guarantee that. That's what's going on. For those who I normally email out the devotional, then you click over to the website. I'm having you click over to this, so that way you get it this way. I do put it up on the Opaz Journal Facebook page, the Word side, if you want to just read it instead of watch this. I understand that. Just go to the Opaz Journal Facebook. You don't have to, I don't believe you have to have an account for that, but I would encourage you to do so if you can, and that will help you out. Knowing what's going on in that area. Let me read to you this morning from 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 3 about the four most devastating words a person can hear. And it says, and the king of Israel said unto his servants, know ye that Ramoth and Gilead is ours, and we be still, and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria. Idleness and procrastination has destroyed more potential than anything that Satan could throw against any believer. Many believers have been idle when they should have been productive. Many believers and leaders have put off something that they should have been diligent to do, only to see what they put off destroy their potential and the ability to prosper. Now, Jehoshaphat realized this when he came to Ahab to discuss the treaty that Ahab made with Syria. 1 Kings 20 and verse 34 describes this treaty when it says, and Ben-Hadad said unto him, the cities which my father took from thy father I will restore. Thou shalt make streets for thee in Damascus, as my father made in Samaria. Then said Ahab, I will send thee away with this covenant. So he made a covenant with him and sent him away. Jehoshaphat knew about this treaty and reminded Ahab about it. And then he said to Ahab that Ramoth and Gilead is ours. I want you to notice the four most devastating words were here. And we be still. That treaty meant nothing as long as they were still. They had to rise, listen now, and take the city because the city belonged to them. Now, the most devastating words to your Christian walk are these words, and we be still. Nothing will cause you to miss the blessings that God has for you, like procrastination, idleness, and those four words, and we be still. You cannot win people to Christ when you're still. You cannot achieve acts of faith when you're still. You cannot build a great Sunday school class when you're still. You won't build a great bus route when you're still. You can't build a great church when you're still. It doesn't matter what your excuse is. Nothing will ever be done for Christ when you are still. Can I also say this? The works of faith will never be realized when you're still. It is not that God won't do great works today. It's that he cannot do the great works today because God's people are still, which keeps God from doing the great works that he desires to do. You see, God always uses people to do great works. Every great work of faith started when someone got up from being still. The lepers came across the spoils of the Syrians when they rose up from sitting to see that they could get something to eat. The only thing, I want you to listen to me now, the only thing that stands between you and great accomplishment is getting up to do something for God. As long as you're idle, my friend, what God wants you to do will be kept from you. God uses people to do his work. But those works are never accomplished when people are sitting still. You have to realize that the longer you're still, the more time you waste that God could have used to build a great work through you. You cannot take back the idle time of sitting that could have been used to build a great work through you. Every time, every moment that you sit, as long as you sit, that's a moment wasted. That's a minute wasted. That's keeping you from God's blessings. Now, let me ask you, what is it today that you set aside? Has the difficulty of the task been the excuse you used to be still? Has the magnitude of the task kept you from rising up? God has something for you today. But as long as you're still, it's never going to be done. There are people who would get saved as long as they would get saved, but as long as you're still, they'll never hear the gospel of Christ. There are children or adults that you could reach to build your Sunday school class, but they won't be reached as long as you don't rise up and do something. You see, you cannot let the words "and we be still" be the words that mark your life, my friend. God has something great for you, but you cannot be still. Got to get up, got to do something for God. Oh, my friend, every great work that God's ever done, he's done through someone who got up and got busy. Can I challenge you today? Stop playing. I mean this. I'm tired of this young generation justifying Hollywood. Justifying the sins of Hollywood and talking about Hollywood as if it's something great. These are fake movies that you're watching, my friend. There's nothing real in them. Hell is real. Heaven is real. Can I tell you, while we are still, eternity hell is being filled with people that go to hell because God's people are playing around in the world and acting like, well, it's not that bad. It is that bad. Get out of your backslidden state and understand we've got a world to reach. If we really believe in this thing called heaven, if we believe in it, then we're going to get busy. We're not going to be still. We're going to do what we can. Why? Because as long as we stay, God can't do his great works. Let me challenge you. Get up, do something for God. This weekend, don't be still. Go soul winning, reach someone for Christ, get someone in church. Let's have a great Sunday in every church across America. Let's do that. Would you do that? Hey, remember, my friend, be good to everybody this weekend because everybody's having a tough time. Have a great weekend, my friend. See you on Monday.